Hello, everybody. Tracy Mrs. JDog Flanagan with you here today. I'm the co-founder and senior vice president at JDog Brands. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Tactical Treasures podcast, sponsored by the JDog Foundation. Our podcast gives veterans, male spouses, active military members, military family members, and patriotic military supporters a voice in the veteran space to speak about their service, how they're affecting their communities post-service, and they share with me a tactical treasure that has helped them in their journey in their military career, business, or life. Today, I am so excited to have with me Melissa Farmer Hill, who is a retired Army veteran, author, and entrepreneur. She has served worldwide as an Army Human Resources Warrant Officer with deployments to Iraq and Kosovo. Throughout her service, Melissa has received multiple prestigious awards and decorations, such as the Douglas MacArthur Leadership Award, the Army Recruiting Ring, and the Army Human Resources Instructor of the Year. She holds a master's degree in event and tourism management from Roosevelt University. In 2024, Melissa was selected as an honoree for Empower to Enlighten's I Am Every Woman Award. As the author of the book Army Strong Women, she tells the untold stories of countless women who have served in the military. The book explores the challenges, prejudices, and opportunities these women encountered while pursuing a career in the Army. Now, Melissa is the creator and CEO of Shiro Coffee Club, a social enterprise coffee brand dedicated to honoring the service, sacrifice, and achievements of women who have served. Her mission is to keep the world caffeinated and women motivated. Because Melissa has an unwavering commitment to service and community, she serves as a member of the Veteran Services Officer Team for VFW Post 311 in Richton Park, Illinois. She is also a lifetime member of the Benjamin O. Davis Post 311 and the National Women's Veterans United and the Verna L. Jones American Legion Post 478. Wow. What an amazing bio. Welcome to the podcast, Melissa. I'm so happy to have you. Thank you so much for your service to our country, ma'am.
Thank you for I'm glad to be here. We'll just start with that. I'm
Great.
just
It's
happy to
wonderful.
be here.
I am great. I am so happy to have you. So, we have a lot to talk about, but I would love to know. We'll start off with your military career. What led you to join the Army?
It's so funny because I'm the one usually asking that question. What made you join the Army? I joined because if you know anything about Chicago, I lived in a community. It was called the Low End. It's 48th and King Drive. And one day I kind of looked out and I wanted to see something different. I wanted to see something different. And I was dating a guy at the time, and he says, "Hey, I'm going to go active duty." I said, "You know what? I'm going to. I want to see something different. I want to." At that time, there was a famous commercial. Actually, before I joined, where they say we do more things before 9 a.m. than most people do all day. And that was so
Yeah.
inspiring. And I thought it was going to be a cakewalk.
No.
So that's why I joined. I really wanted to have a different life. I knew that I wanted my college education, and I did not know about loans and things like that. So one way I knew that I could get my college education was through the military.
Okay. Wow, that's awesome. So, is there a particular aspect or moment from your service that stood out as impactful in a positive way for you?
Oh, absolutely. If you've ever heard, well, the 101st. The 101st Airborne Division Air Assault. I don't know if the 101st will always be memorable to me. When I came to the 101st, I was from not Germany. I came to the 101st from Korea. Korea was my first assignment, and I was
Mhm.
assigned to the 101st. I was in G1. One of the things that the G1 we pride ourselves in being was air assault qualified. So you get there, and I wasn't air assault qualified. It's only my second assignment outside of Korea. Um, and so you have to go through that air assault course every day until you are ready. And if you know anything about Fort Campbell at the time, we did PT 5 days a week. So I was going through that air assault course 5 days a week. My challenge was I couldn't get the lock in to pull myself up the rope for the air assault
Oh,
course,
okay.
but I finally did. And when I did, they send you immediately. It took about 3 weeks. Uh, Immediately they sent me to air assault school. And what I remember was there's a 12-mile ruck march that you have to do in order to qualify to become air assault qualified. At that 6 mile marker, I was about to give up. It
Oh,
just seemed overwhelming. And one of the instructors, he wasn't on the ruck march with me, but he was doing his morning run. He was coming from the opposite direction, and he saw me. We locked eyes. He said, "Don't you give up. Don't you dare give up." That inspired me to finish that ruck march. And I just have that was the positive thing that happened to me on that ruck march that made me finish. And I would I would go as far to say that was one of the inspirations that catapulted my career in the military during that ruck march. I have younger brother and sister, and they were there in attendance when I graduated. So that was really a shining point, one of the shining points of my career, where just a few words from someone else inspired me to complete that 12-mile ruck march after making it halfway. So yeah.
wow. That's amazing. And you know what? Sometimes we just as human beings don't realize that even just even to a stranger, somebody you don't know, just one encouraging word, compliment, anything, can do so much to inspire another human being. Like all he said to you was, "Don't you give up. Don't you dare give up." That was all you needed. Just those couple words were enough to inspire you to keep you going, right? That's
Yeah,
amazing. I love that story.
A-
That's great.
absolutely. I mean, just and then when you think about it, flash forward 2024, that same thing, one kind word to another, what that could do, because you don't know what people are going through. You don't,
True.
and that
You
kind
true.
word could
Very
make a
true.
difference. Hmm. Hmm.
Right. So now you are the creator and CEO of Shiro Coffee Club.
Hmm.
How did you get there? What inspired you to
Wow.
start the Shiro Coffee Club?
So after 20 years of service, I retired. And in my head, I thought I had it all together. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to take a little break. And then I'm like, okay, look at my finances and things like that. And everything seemed fine. One of the things I did not account for was the mental journey, the
Oh,
emotional
yeah.
journey
Hmm.
that you go through. I had not even thought about it. When I was done with the military, I thought I was just going to just forget about everything and just move on because this is my second, it's my second act. It's my second phase in life. What do I want to do? Surely it has nothing to do with the military. But when I retired, um, I had a breakdown because I lost my sense of purpose. I lost my
Oh, yeah.
identity. I lost my family. And as far as my military family, I felt as though I had lost all of that. And I went into a depression. And so there was a healing journey that took
Right.
place. But in the midst of that, I did join the VFW in Richton Park. That you spoke of earlier. And I spoke to women and come to find out they had the same stories. And so I'm like, what can we do? What could I do? I wanted to think of an idea. What can I do to just continue to tell those stories, but do it in a unique way, something that I haven't seen done before? And so that's when I came up with the idea to place the narratives of women veterans on coffee bags. So every coffee bag features a woman veteran and a little narrative about her. And I had one group of women. I was like, this is my idea. They were just on board with it. So the first group, um, they are, I call them legacy because I didn't know what I was doing. I just wanted to do it. They just said, okay, fine, we'll volunteer for it. And now that has come, we are building an ambassador. We have an ambassador program from that. And so that's why I started it, because I did not want any woman who served to lose her identity. Like you said, those positive things, those positive stories. I would
Right.
not be able to tell the story of, my ruck march, the ruck march, and what inspired me had I just forgotten about the military and moved on. And I think this is a way where we can connect with, that's why we say keeping the world captivated and women veterans celebrated. You can connect with women who served in a unique way just through coffee. So that's why I started it. I wanted to continue to tell the stories of women veterans in a unique way based upon my experience when I retired, because I don't I would hope that a woman should never think that she is alone like I felt. And the more
Right.
we
Sure.
share our stories, like you allow your platform to share our stories, we just get so much more out of it. It's such a
Right.
blessing to have served your country and to come out on the other end in a way that you can continue to tell that story. And I want that to continue on.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Hello,
Mhm.
viewers and listeners. The Tactical Treasures podcast is honored to be a part of the Reese Across America radio family. We are proud to share that our JDog Foundation is a Reese Across America sponsorship group. For each $17 Veterans Reese you sponsor, $5 goes directly back to the JDog Foundation, whose mission is to prevent veteran suicide and heal veterans' mental health and PTSD. You can donate right now at reaseacrossamerica.org/JDog. Thank you so much for supporting the JDog Foundation through Reese Across America Radio. Now back to the podcast. I want to understand how the Shiro Coffee Club works.
Mhm.
So, is it virtual? Is it
Uh-huh.
a physical location,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
both?
Okay, so we are the Shiro Coffee Club is an e-commerce coffee brand. So everything we do is virtual. Well, the coffee that you purchase is virtual. So we have single bag orders, we have K cups, we have subscriptions. So everything we do is the business itself is virtual. So when you order or get a subscription of our coffee, it gets shipped to you. The
Got it.
reason, I'm often thinking of a coffee shop, but I like to travel too much, Tracy.
Okay.
It would be delightful to have one, but right now everything is working. The ambassadors have in-person and online events, so everything is working. I really feel purpose, but it is a coffee brand, or a e-commerce coffee brand.
Okay. And the ambassadors, the events that they hold, are
Mhm.
they kind of all over the country, like in different states and all?
Right. So we are right now, we're actually interviewing for our 2025 ambassadors. Uh, the ambassador program is, like I said, what we like to do is connect veterans who are just, we're everywhere. So we like to
Right.
connect that woman with, like, VFWs or veterans coffee chats. And what she'll do is she'll just represent the Shiro brand, and we will ship a bag. Well, she'll partner with them, and we will ship bags of coffee for their veterans coffee chats or for their
Ah,
meetings
okay.
and things like that. They also we have a blog. When you go to shirocoffee.com, we have a blog where the ambassadors write about the things that they are passionate about, causes that they're serving in. And we also have a video of these women veterans telling any kind of story that she wants to tell. So yeah, so the ambassador, that is a huge program. Um, the first time we did the recruiting campaign last year, it was hard to find women Marine. The few, the proud. That's a serious thing.
Right.
That's a real
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But this year, we're just blessed to have so many women Marines interview this year. Now we're looking for Christy. So it's always a challenge finding these women and getting them to tell their story, but when we do it, it's just so wonderful. It's
Oh,
wonderful.
that's amazing. Okay, so I love that, but there's also something else that we need to talk about too. So
Oh boy.
you authored a book, right? So
I did.
I would love to know what inspired you to write your book.
I wrote a book to answer a question. So when I was active duty, and I would always be out in my uniform, I would get young girls asking me, "What's the army like? They just want to know." And so I decided to write that book. And the book is titled Army Strong Women. And what it is a vignette. I have about 12 women in the book. And I asked the question, what makes a woman decide to join the army? And they answered the question. And I wanted to know, not just, don't give me just an answer. What were you going through that made you say
Yeah,
yes? Because we're growing in numbers. I think 17% of women are active duty now, but 15 years ago, 10 years ago, it wasn't
right.
it wasn't it wasn't like that. And so I wanted to know what makes a woman join the military. They answered that question, and I said, what tips can you give me if a young girl was just thinking about or considering joining the military? And they gave me that. And then I talk a little bit about the army structure and the rank structure of the military, and it really is for a high schooler that is considering joining the military. And that's why I wrote Army Strong Women. And it's so funny because now, even after getting out, now I see the connection. Maybe I was always purposed to have to be involved with
Right.
women's and the things they advocate for and the things that they believe in and want to express. So it's kind of given me that connection. But that's why I wrote Army Strong Women, to answer the question I was always getting, what's the army like?
Oh, wow. I love it. That's really great.
Thank
Um,
you.
and where can you purchase it? Can it be
Mhm.
purchased on the
It's on
Shiro
it
Coffee Club website?
it's on our website, and it's on Amazon, and I know those two places for sure. Those two places
Okay,
for sure. And
that's great.
I'm hoping to write another book with generational women in the military. So I'm kind of toying around with that idea. I think it's a book worth writing too and
Yeah,
researching.
yeah, definitely. Okay, so we come to the time where, Melissa, I have to ask you, what
Uh-oh.
is your tactical treasure?
My tactical treasure. So it can be a thing, right?
Yes, it can.
Okay. This is my tactical treasure.
Okay.
And I purchased this in Germany, and it inspired me. I don't know what anything means, so I hope it doesn't mean anything negative. I've had that since Germany. So I've had it since January of 1998. I've had it since
Wow.
January of 1998. Someone once told me that it was a scribe, and a scribe
Okay.
means someone who writes. And
Ah,
that
okay.
kind of helped me, inspired me to continue writing Army Strong Women. And I also I think it probably is the inspiration behind what I do today. It's all kind of coming full circle. And
Right.
So that my tactical treasure is a thing, and that
A thing. I love it.
is this scribe right here who inspires me to continue to write and help me get through the book Army Strong Women. It was always there. I actually took it to Iraq with me as well. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, yeah. So yeah.
That's great. That's great. I love it. What a cool tactical treasure. Um, so this has been amazing. So I
Yes.
do have to ask you though,
Sure.
what advice would you have for your fellow women veterans that are transitioning? Because, you just shared your story, 20 years, and
Yeah.
you thought you had it all figured out. You got out, you retired, and you were like, okay, I'm good. I'm ready for the next chapter. And then all of a sudden, it was like the mental journey that you were not prepared for. So, what advice would you give to women veterans who that are going to transition out? And I think even though whether or not it's a 20-year career or maybe you just serve for 4 or 6 years or whatever, it's still it can be very daunting mentally as to how to change your mindset and, take the
Absolutely.
good from the military experience, turn it into something good in the civilian sector, and just realize that you still have an identity, you're still a person, you still have value, you still have purpose.
That is an excellent question. And as I look back and I think about women veterans or women who are transitioning out of the military, one word of advice is start early.
Mm,
That's one of the a lot of stories that I hear are, it's just check the block, check the block, check the block, I'm out. Start early. Uh start committing to practicing self-care. And whatever self-care looks like for you, whether it be getting the help you need mentally, or whether it be committing to just meditation or yoga practice or whatever it is, practice that self care. Another thing is get associated with one of the national organizations, or you can get associated with nonprofit organizations that support women. Some organizations support only women veterans, but you have to stay involved. Don't just think because you're leaving and you've got a job, you've got everything planned out. Don't forget there's a mental space that you may not be aware of that's going to happen in any transition. It's like a
mm,
relationship. You've had this relationship
yes.
for 4 years, 6 years, however many years, 20 years like me, that you're severing that relationship and you want to do it like you would in a positive way. So find things that, make you happy and start doing those things. But you definitely seek the help you need. So if that means you have to get therapy or whatever, don't suck it up and drive on, like we say, like we used to say in the military.
Right.
Suck it. Do not do that, because that is not for that's not in your best interest. If you really feel like you need to talk to someone, get the help you need. Uh, Take time and space out for you, and then get involved with veterans organizations within your community. Those are the three pieces of advice that I would give.
Great pieces of advice. I like the idea of, like what you said, start early, because
Yeah,
I'm sure as you get ready to transition out, there's a ton of blocks you need to check and paperwork and everything, and you can get really caught up in that sort of thing, not realizing that there's the self-care is definitely
yeah,
another piece. So
a-
I love that. I think
absolutely.
that is great advice. Great advice.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So Melissa, this has been amazing. I'm so glad we finally got to
You.
to
I
talk and
know, me
do the
too. Thank you
podcast.
so much.
So before you go, can you tell us
Mhm.
how can people find and connect with you, and how can they get more information on the Shiro Coffee Club?
Okay, sure. You can go to shirocoffeeclub.com. That's shirocoffeeclub.com and click on the link if you're interested in becoming an ambassador on our page where it says let's connect. You can go ahead and click that link and the application is right there. We don't ask it's not a long application. So if you're a woman veteran who wants to share her story and have your picture on our coffee bags, please do that. But ShiroCoffeeClub.com is where you can go to find us. And then also we have a Facebook page, and you can go to our Facebook page at Shiro Coffee Club as well.
Okay, awesome. And if people are looking to purchase your coffee, they would just go to the
Mhm.
website and subscribe, or and just
That's
purchase
it.
right there.
We are always looking to purchase our coffee. And then don't forget, $1 for every bag sold goes to hosting the in-person and online events for women veterans. So we have that. In October, the Susan Komen Foundation, every bag of dark roast that we sell, 50% of our profits will go to that foundation in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So that's what we're doing. So join us, get a bag, dark roast.
Dark roast. I love dark roast. Okay, I'm gonna have to get a bag.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank you. Melissa,
You're
this has been amazing. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. How inspiring and motivating. I just love it. And so it's just been great. Thank you so much for coming on and taking the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. This has been a wonderful experience. It really has.
Okay. Well, I'll see you. We'll talk soon.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Hello, viewers and listeners. Thank you so much for joining us for this Tactical Treasures podcast. We've just finished up an amazing conversation with Melissa Farmer Hill, who is a retired Army veteran, author, and entrepreneur. She is now the creator and CEO of Shiro Coffee Club, which is more than just coffee. It is a sanctuary for women who have served their country, a place where stories are honored, their sacrifices recognized, and their achievements celebrated. They believe in the power of speaking your truth and sharing your story with the world. They offer creative and fun workshops for veteran coffee chats and women's conferences where women come together to share their experiences, learn from each other, and grow. The commitment to women veterans goes beyond just coffee and conversation. Shiro Coffee Club provides annual scholarships for women veterans who belong to speaking organizations such as Toastmasters, empowering them to further their education and pursue their dreams. Their motto is simple but powerful: sip your coffee, speak your truth, and serve others. Come join them at the Shiro Coffee Club, where every cup of coffee comes with a side of inspiration and empowerment. You can also check out Shiro Uncorked, which is an annual celebration providing a platform for women veterans to share their journeys and experiences from the stage. To learn more about Shiro Coffee Club, to purchase their coffee, or to apply to be an ambassador, go to shirocoffee.com. Again, thanks for joining us. Don't forget you can find Tactical Treasures podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms, as well as Vet TV, American Grit, and our dedicated YouTube channel. We are now airing on Reach Across America Radio on Thursdays at 7 p.m. And if you missed that, please join us for the encore on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can also find Reach Across America Radio on the iHeartRadio app, the Odyssey app, and the TuneIn app. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again on another podcast real soon. Bye bye now.